As Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues, Ukraine's boxing champions have begun voluntarily enlisting to defend their country. And the former heavyweight champions Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko are asking the world for help.
I'm calling to all the international partners to observe this strategy that is happening nowadays in Ukraine and this senseless war, which is not going to have any winners but losers. I just want to tell you we must stay united against this aggression, against Russian aggression. Don't let it happen, continue happening in Ukraine, don't let it happening in Europe, and eventually in the world. United we're strong. Support Ukraine. Thank you.
Vitaly Klitschko, who has been the mayor of Kyiv since 2014, is no stranger to defending his city, having been a leading figure in several violent protests against Russian aggression, and he's willing to take up arms to defend his people. It's already a bloody war, Klitschko said. I don't have another choice. I have to do that. I would fight. Just weeks earlier, Vladimir enlisted in the Ukraine's reserve army in Kyiv in preparation for Russian President Vladimir Putin's seemingly inevitable invasion.
We are a European country, and we want to make sure that our values are going to be implemented rightly into our society, and no one else is going to decide for us how we should live.
Also returning home to fight is unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk. The Olympic gold medalist has gone so far as to join a territorial defense battalion. And like Usyk, his friend Vasyl Lomachenko also joined a territorial defense battalion to defend his homeland from the invaders. And now it's not just the boxers who are banding together to stand with Ukraine. The WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO announced in a joint statement that they will not be sanctioning any championship bouts in Russia. And now the International Judo Federation has suspended the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, a keen judoka who attended the sport at the 2012 London Olympics, from his role as honorary president. Unlike the other Olympic sporting bodies who are using phrases like an escalation of conflict to describe the invasion, the IJF called the actions war. It's a sentiment shared by the Klitschkos, who are on the ground in Kyiv, and Vladimir is well aware of the almost unanimous global outcry against the invasion.
Kyiv has not been bombed since 1941, when Nazis have bombed Kyiv and attacked. It's so weird to actually hear the explosions in the city day by day and shootings, and seeing all the images all around the country where people suffer. And in Kyiv, it's getting into the humanitarian catastrophic event. That's why every hour counts.
In far less serious boxing news, the undisputed welterweight champ Josh Taylor was lucky to escape the weekend with his belts and unbeaten record intact. Jack Catterall took him to a split decision that most boxing pundits had Catterall winning. The bout was widely considered a tune-up for the champ before vacating the titles and stepping up to face one of the big champions at welterweight. But the weight-drained Taylor couldn't keep up with Catterall, who even dropped him in the 8th. Catterall out-hit Taylor across the board, landing more punches, jabs, and power shots. In fact, Catterall landed more jabs and punches in every round, and more power punches in every round except 3. Taylor had his sights set on a bout with the WBO welterweight champion Terence Crawford. It's unlikely that Bud will give him the time of day after such a weak showing against an opponent he was expected to dominate. My days at 140 are numbered. My future is at welterweight. Jack Catterall deserves another title shot, admitted Taylor a few days later. And I'd be happy to fight Jack again, but it would have to be at welterweight. And the Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte promotional tour for their heavyweight championship bout has begun, with an uncharacteristic Dillian Whyte no-show.
I'll definitely win this stand. Come on, Dillon. Hit forward, Bush. Careful, be careful.
According to Fury's promoter, Frank Warren, Whyte, who signed the fight contract with hours to spare last week, has tried to renegotiate terms and demanded to be flown in a private jet from his training base in Portugal to London. With the last-minute demands not met, this left Fury with a lot of time to talk about his mandatory challenger, and talk he did.
The man's only thing he's ever won is a British title, Frank. Only thing. And he's been banging on how we're all scared of him. But I've given him a new name anyway. He's called... Are you ready for it? He's called Dillian Whyte Knickers. Okay? It's not Dillian Whyte. It's Dillian Whyte Knickers. Because he's as soft as what it says in the title.
Press conference no-shows should be nothing new to Fury, who famously no-showed himself before his rematch with Vladimir Klitschko, before no-showing the fight altogether due to mental health issues. According to Warren, Whyte has also claimed that his image rights are being breached by his photograph being used in the news conference branding. Again, Fury had thoughts on the matter.
It's never about the opponent. Like, whether it's his face on there or somebody else's, it's really unimportant. It's ugly anyway, it doesn't really matter. Take him down, we should take him down, Frank. This is about this man over here and celebrating his legacy and his boxing career and celebrating it on the biggest stage that the world can get, really.
The 33-year-old Fury is coming into the Old British Showdown having ended his epic trilogy against American rival Deontay Wilder with an 11th round knockout in October of 2021. Whyte, also 33, last fought in March of 2021, when he beat Alexander Povetkin with a knockout in their rematch to reclaim the #1 contender spot. Fury versus Whyte for the WBC and lineal heavyweight titles should go down at London's Wembley Stadium this April 23rd, so long as they both show up. In other championship results, Lawrence Okolie defended his cruiserweight title while Jerwin Ancajas and Mika Iwakawa dropped titles to Fernando Martinez and Nene Suzuki respectively. And Ayaka Miyao beat Eri Matsuda for the vacant IBF Women's Atomweight title.
Thanks for watching, and remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.